Hey everyone, Cloud here, and welcome to my guide on the Waterfall quest. So for this quest there's no actual skill specific requirement in order to complete it, which is very handy. The only thing I would say is though, you do want sort of a decent defense level at the very least, as you need to sort of run through some aggressive enemies during this quest, and there is a pit where you will pass some level 88 moss giants which can be aggressive. It's sort of random each time, so obviously bear that in mind. If you've got a defense level of 1, then it's going to be a bit of a pain for you. But yeah, as for the items required, you'll need 6 air runes, 6 earth runes, 6 water runes, and a rope. I'd bring a couple just to be on the safe side, as you can lose them sometimes. Recommended, I would recommend having a games necklace to get you to the Barbarian Outpost, which is near where the quest is. Also, if you've completed the Tree Gnome Village quest and you can use spirit trees, that can come in handy as well for travelling around. The only other thing I recommend is having full access to the Lodestone network, or as much as you can anyway, as you'll be using the Ardome Lodestone teleport during this guide. If you don't have all the Lodestones unlocked, I have a guide on how to do so, which can be found in the description below. It's very handy to have when completing your quests. But that's it for requirements and items. Now onto the quest starting point. So we're currently at the Barbarian Outpost, which you can get to using the games necklace that I mentioned a minute ago. And we need to head to the house, which is near Baxterian Falls and south of Barbarian Outpost, and speak to a woman called Almira. So start heading where I am, and the mini-map is displaying where to head to. So once you arrive in the house, speak to Almira to start the quest. So Almira shall tell you that she's a bit distressed that her son Hudon is looking for hidden treasure in the river, and she requests you to go check on him. So if you head just outside the house here, you'll notice there's a raft. You can ride the raft to go down the river slightly, and once you arrive you should see Almira's son just by the river. So as the raft appears near a small island, you'll notice that Hudon is standing near you. Speak to him and you'll instantly insist him to go back to his mother, and he refuses until he finds his treasure. You offer to help, but he gets paranoid of you stealing it. So with no arguments left, we need to basically get out of the river. So what you need to do is you'll have your rope in your inventory, hopefully. You'll notice there's a rock just opposite of where you are. Use the rope on the rock to go across safely without drowning down the river. Well, you won't literally drown, you just take a lot of damage. And then you'll also notice there's like a tree near the edge here. Use your rope on that to climb down, and you'll notice you're near a little waterfall with a door. Don't go in the door, that comes later on. You'll notice there's a barrel next to it. Climb inside and you'll flush out down the waterfall and end up on the coast without taking any damage at all. So from where you arrive, you want to head to the Tourist Information Centre, which is this small building just near the river. And as you go inside, you'll see there's a guide there called Hadley. Speak to him to learn the detailed history of Baxterian Falls, and he'll also tell you there's a book on it. So if you go upstairs and search the bookcases, you'll eventually find a book on Baxterian. You need to read through the whole book, not obviously literally. You just need to like skim through it so your character has read it in order to proceed through the quest. So reading the book, you'll learn about Glarial's tomb, and you'll also learn about the way to be able to get in the tomb. But the first thing we need to find is Glarial's pebble, which is the key to opening the tomb, and that can be found in the Tree Gnome Village. So we need to head to the Tree Gnome Village. As I mentioned in the beginning, if you've completed Tree Gnome Village quest, you can use the spirit trees to get direct access to the village, so do that if you wish to. If not, just head to the nearest sort of teleport locations. So that's either Ardome, Yanil, Castle Walls, anything around that area, and then you want to head to the entrance of Tree Gnome Village, which would be the sort of like northwest corner of the maze. So I'll speak to you once we're there. So if you've completed Tree Gnome Village quest, you can use the gnome just standing outside to get straight into the middle of the maze. If you haven't though, like I haven't, we need to run around the maze to get to where we need to. Now, looking on the mini-map, or if you open up your world map, you'll notice where the Tree Gnome Village is, there's a little danger spot, which is for dungeon, and that's where we need to head to, as there's a ladder that goes underneath the maze. So we're going to head round there now, so just watch where my character goes. And if you just keep clicking where you want in the maze, you'll automatically find your way through it. So once you arrive at the ladder, we need to go inside and help find the gnome who will tell us about the pebble. Now there is a lot of hobgoblins and other enemies down there that can be aggressive to you, so you want to be a little bit careful, but I'll show you where to go so you can do it without taking sort of minimal damage. So as soon as you go down the ladder, you want to head eastern part of the dungeon until you arrive in this area where there's a load of different crates and that about, and you want to search the crate in the east room that is slightly paler than the rest. You should notice it, and that is where you'll find a key, and this is used to open the cell door, which is in the opposite room. So if you start heading around to sort of the western side of the dungeon and keep heading all the way around, dodging the hobgoblins and that, you'll see there's a cell cage door. Use the key on it and you'll be able to go inside. So once you're inside, speak to Glarial, who will thank you for saving him, and upon speaking to him you'll mention that there's a lot of different things in the room, and going through some dialogue you'll eventually find Glarial's pebble, which we exchange for the key that you obtained. So now we have the pebble and the means to access the tomb. We need to go enter the tomb. However, this tomb you cannot enter there without any weapon, armor, runes, anything like that, because it's a sacred burial place and will not allow you to. So literally you want to deposit everything in your bank except for Glarial's pebble and some food, as this is where the moss giants are that I mentioned, and they can hit high if they do go for you, but it sort of depends in what kind of mood they're in. They didn't seem to attack me when I was in there, but either way, go bank all your stuff apart from the items I mentioned, and then I will speak to you again at the Lodestone, which can be accessed via the Lodestone network. Okay, so once you've arrived at the Lodestone and you've got the Glarial's pebble in your inventory and food with obviously no armour or weapons, we need to go find the tomb, and that can be found a bit southeast of Backstory Falls, and you'll notice there's like an area where it'll stand out a mile off. Honestly, you'll see it as we head over there now. But if you start following my characters going, I've got the arrow on the mini-map displaying where we go. So eventually you'll arrive at this area which clearly looks like a tomb. Like I said, you can't miss it, it's very well presented, and what you want to do is use Glarial's pebble on the little tombstone, and what it will do, it will start operating and a ladder will appear allowing you to go inside the tomb. So as I mentioned, you'll see there's a lot of enemies down here, including these moss giants, so you definitely want to be careful of them, but if you listen to what you need to do, you can get out of there very quickly after getting the items you want. So first you want to go west and search the chest, and you'll find Glarial's amulet. You can kind of need these in other parts of quests and that later on in the series, and that, so it may be worth you dropping the amulet and obtaining another one. Do like the drop trick so you can obtain 2 of them. But either way, once you've got Glarial's amulet, you want to search Glarial's coffin, which is in the southern room, to receive Glarial's urn. So these are the 2 items you need. Once you have the amulet and the urn, you can head back up the ladder to escape from the monsters. Okay, so now we have the amulet and the urn, we need to head to the sort of final part of the quest. Now, you will want to have the air runes, water runes, earth runes, and rope that you had at the beginning of the quest. Make sure you've got all them with you still. You want to make sure you have Glarial's urn and Glarial's amulet as well. Also, because this area also has enemies in as well, I would definitely recommend getting your armour or weapons back. You've done the part where you need to be unarmed and that, so you can go and re-equip all your armour and that, and also make sure you've got plenty of food with you just in case. But anyway, once you have everything that you need, I will speak to you back at Almira's house, which is where we were near the beginning of the quest, near the rafts, and I'll speak to you there. Okay, so once you're back at Almira's house, just to double check, you have your 6 air runes, 6 water runes, 6 earth runes, your couple of ropes, Glarial's urn, Glarial's amulet, and obviously some armour, food and weapon. Once you have that, we're now going to actually enter the waterfall. Similar to what we done last time, we're actually going to go inside. So board the raft just outside the house again, and you'll land on a little island. Use your rope on the rock to get across the river like you done last time, and again use your rock on the use your rope on the dead tree. You have a hard job trying to use the rock on there, won't you? Use the rope on a dead tree, and where last time you jumped in the barrier, you'll notice there's a door actually in the waterfall. Now before you get carried away and click the door, don't do it just yet. You need to wear Glarial's amulet, which will allow you access inside, otherwise you'll just get flushed out. But make sure you've got amulet equipped and head inside. Okay, so you'll see that we're in a waterfall dungeon area, and similar to last time, we need to go find a key first. So if you take the eastern passage and search the crates for a key, search basically like along a sort of circle, that way you don't miss a crate by mistake, but I can't remember exactly what crate it is from the top of my head, and I think it's random for each player. But once you have the key in your inventory, we need to go take it to the other passage. So we need to head to the western passage, and you'll pass like a load of fire giants and that, and you'll come up to a couple of doors. You want to use your key that you obtained on the first door to get inside, and you'll be safe from harm and that. Then you also notice there's a key in here that respawns. Don't quite know why they do that, because you couldn't get in there in the first place without the key. But use the key on the second door as well, and you'll notice you're in a sort of tomb-like area, and you'll notice there's a chalice of eternity floating in the air. So the Chalice of Eternity is what we've actually come for, but again, do not get carried away and try and take the chalice, otherwise you'll get flushed out. There is a certain thing we need to do, and this is what you need the runes for. So you'll notice in the area there's 6 pillars and 2 statues. You want to use a single air, water and earth rune on each 6 of the pillars, and that, so that's why you need 6 in total. So you'll note that there's a burst of smoke for each rune that you use, so that kind of tells you it's been done successfully. Once you've done that for all 6 of the pillars, you'll notice that there's a Glarial statue, and you want to use Glarial's amulet on the statue. So obviously unequip it and put it onto the statue. Upon doing this, the ground will suddenly rise behind you, and it will be like an area now with some steps that will actually allow you to go up and access the urn. So, approach the chalice, but again, you're not just going to directly take it, you want to use Glarial's urn on the chalice. So, upon doing this, you'll automatically take the reward and finish the quest. However, if your inventory is full, you need to clear out 5 inventory spaces and use the urn on the chalice again to actually receive it. But either way, once you've used the urn on the chalice, it will say, congratulations, you've completed the waterfall quest. You're awarded 1 quest point, 13,750 attack and strength experience, 2 gold bars, 2 diamonds, 40 mithril seeds which can be used to grow flowers, access to the waterfall dungeon for obviously combat training and that, but you obviously must have Glarial's amulet in order to access the dungeon, otherwise you'll get flushed out. So this is why I mentioned it might be handy to obtain 2 of them, and 2 extra spins on the Squeal of Fortune. So yeah, a pretty good reward. I know it's a bit of a long-winded quest going back and forth, but the rewards from it is actually pretty decent, especially the attack and strength experience. That'll definitely bump you up a few levels like it done to me. The gold bars and diamonds, you can soon sell them off. Now, the mithril seeds, they grow flowers, a random colour each time upon picking them up. It's definitely worth planting all the seeds and taking whatever flowers you get, because most of them are worth more than the actual seeds themselves, so you'll make a nice little bit of profit from that. And also the waterfall dungeon is very handy for combat training, especially against the fire giants that are in there. And I also think there's an area in here as well where you've got a certain dungeoneering level, you can access even more fire giants. So very ideal place to get some levels up. And obviously this quest is required in order to complete other ones as well. So, but yeah, I hope this guide helps you. You shouldn't run into any problems at all if you follow it carefully. However, if you do get stuck, leave a comment in the comment section below and I'll help you out as best I can. But thank you very much for watching. Please make sure you like, favourite, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to share with your friends. Cheers guys, bye.